In this video, I'm going to be discussing how the war in the Middle East between Israel and Iran will affect your cost of living. But before I do, welcome to the Quietest Ones in the Room with your host, Trey. I gotta say it, just the fact that you clicked onto this video and you're listening to the sound of my voice, you by far are the most intelligent people on the face of the planet. So once again, thank you for joining me. Before I get into my topic, I want to say this. I understand that discussing Israel versus Iran is a very touchy topic. And honestly, it doesn't bother me that if you're listening to this and you think that I'm picking one side or the other, that you unsubscribe or you never listen to my content ever again. And the reason I say that is because every time I post content, the purpose of it is to provide awareness. It's always to enlighten anyone who's willing to listen and maybe share thoughts of things that they've never thought about before. So I don't want to get into which side I'm on, who I'm against, any of that type of narrative, because I do think that as Americans, regardless of what side of the fence we're on, we should certainly want to be aware of how things affect us as individuals and our families and our communities, our neighbors, etc. So it doesn't bother me that people want to attack me or unsubscribe. Do as you will. But anyhow, for those who are still here and listening, I want to talk about how the cost of living in this country would quietly increase as the Israel versus Iran war continues. So oil just surged nearly 10%, and it's not just about gas prices. The war between Israel and Iran could quietly crush middle and working class Americans if we're not paying attention. So let's talk about how. Last video, I talked about gas prices. The price of oil jumped big this week, especially after Israel hit Iran's energy sites. Where 20% in Iran, where 20% of the world's oil passes through, it's now a flashpoint again. So what does that mean for you? It means that you're going to pay more money at the fuel pump. Just recently, in the last month, I saw gas prices starting to trickle down a little bit, and then I saw a huge spike, and then I've seen a little bit of a decrease, but it's still more expensive than it was at least 3 weeks ago. So gas prices will certainly go up given Iran's control of the oil market. Inflation. We've talked about it in the last video, and we must talk about it again. Inflation isn't done with us yet. Higher gas prices equal higher shipping, groceries, heating, and on and on. We were just getting a little relief with inflation, especially in May when the reports came out. But now this conflict could keep inflation stubbornly high. And we see how the stock market is reacting to it. Because the stock market's like, well, hey, they're not going to lower interest rates with the Federal Reserve, and we've got this uncertainty in the Middle East, and inflation is going to go high, so that means people are going to be strapped with cash and spend less money. It's going to affect the bottom line of many companies. The stock market reacted negatively to it. And so we got to look at the interest rates and what the Federal Reserve may do. The Federal Reserve has been trying to cut interest rates, they say, but if oil drives inflation up, they may just pump the brakes because of the uncertainty. And the Federal Reserve likes to hold that power of reducing interest rates in order to be stimulative for the economy. So in the meantime, that would mean that your credit card stays expensive, your car loan, and your mortgage for a refi is still high. If you're looking to buy a home, you're definitely going to see the mortgage rates high. So with all this going on, as I mentioned, the stock market took a dip on this news this week. Monday came, the S&P 500 went down. The NASDAQ went down. Airline stocks like United and Delta dropped hard. And you look at it and you say, well, what's going up? Assets like gold. which usually signals that someone, somewhere, many people have fear about the current economic conditions. And so if you've got a 401k and you've looked at it this week, that's likely taking a hit as well. Even if you don't invest, this kind of instability slows job growth and hurts small businesses. So see, real people are already pulling back. Retail sales dropped nearly 1%, worse than expected in this month. That means Americans are already tightening their belts, their wallets. They're holding more cash. The buy now, pay later systems that people are relying on are even seeing a hit. People are going into more credit card debt because of inflation. And with a war that would be of this magnitude, and with the U.S. looking to possibly jump into it, it could be very hard times economically for the everyday average person. So anyone saying that they want something like this going on doesn't understand how it would truly affect them, or I'd say they're wealthy. So what does this mean for you? It's not just about politics or global headlines. It's an economic warfare at the bottom of all this. If the conflict drags out, you can certainly expect higher gas, stubborn inflation, expensive borrowing, and less money in circulation, which hurts small businesses. That's what the working and middle class would feel the most and the hardest. The price increases. That group, the group I'm in, would be hit the hardest from the war, with the prices rising. So I'm paying attention to what I'm seeing in the media. I'm sure if you're listening to this, you're paying attention to what you're seeing in the media. So I just say, stay diligent, do your due diligence on doing whatever you can to save up your money and prepare in different ways. But look, I already get that most of us are in a situation where we are struggling. And with the prices going up, that's not a good look for us. And I don't say this for you to get into a doomsday mindset. Certainly, I hope you stay positive in spite of what you see going on, and you, at the same time, understand what you need to do for yourself and those around you. But anyhow, please share your thoughts in the comment section. As always, I want to thank each and every one of you who check out my content. You keep me motivated. And as I always say, ladies and gentlemen, until next time.